Hello, I'm Donald Leggett and welcome to this edition of Share Views brought to you by London South East. I'm joined in the studio by Helge Hammer, CEO of Longboat Energy, who floated on AIM in November and are looking to develop a full-cycle oil and gas business in the North Sea. Welcome, Helge.
Thank you.
You represent the management team of Faroe Petroleum.
I did. That was my previous role, indeed,
And
until January this year.
And Faroe are famous for having been taken out in a hostile takeover for £640 million.
That's correct.
Correct. You are that management team that everyone wants to be, the successful ones.
Yeah, it was Faroe was a great company. We built it kind of step by step, and eventually was taken out. But for us, it's unfinished business. We never got to kind of finish it off. It was on track for growing to 50,000 barrels per day. We almost reached 100 million barrels of reserves. So, we are back. It's unfinished business.
Is that why you want to? That the management team want to come back in and do it all over again?
Yeah, that's part of it. But I think we want to make money. That's what it's all about, really. And
did you not make enough money on the previous one?
Well, what is enough? I think it's exciting, actually. It's also very exciting to be in the oil and gas industry, and it is a really good time to build an oil company now.
Why is it a good time?
Because there are a lot of opportunities in the North Sea for a small new start oil and gas company. That's what Faroe kind of benefited from in the last 2-3 years, and that's the market we are entering now.
So, what would the strategy for Longboat Energy be?
The strategy is very similar to Faroe's strategy. So we want to create the company, build a company that delivers production growth and reserves growth, and we do that with focus on M&A initially. If you look at Faroe's history, Faroe initially was a pure exploration company. Mm-hmm. Then it bolted on development, production. With Longboat Energy, we will start a bit more in the other end with M&A. So we're going to do deals and bring in production.
So producing assets first.
Bring in some producing assets, and then bolt on the exploration, appraisal, and the fields that deliver growth. The oil fields that have potential to deliver more volumes.
And why are you doing it that way around this time?
I think because we want to benefit from the market opportunity that is there now, and also because it takes too long. So we want to do it quicker this time than Faroe.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there still money to be made from the North Sea? There's a lot of people who are disillusioned with fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Maybe gas is still popular, but oil is less popular with some investors. Why do you think there's still money to be made in the North Sea?
Yeah, there is a perception out there that the oil and gas industry is kind of struggling, but that's actually not the case at all. It's the oil industry in the North Sea is booming. You have record levels of activity. In Norway, I think there will be 60 E&A wells, exploration and appraisal, drilled this year. Last year will be similar level this year. Production is heading for 5 million barrels per day, which is a record ever. UK also in really good shape. I think production has been increasing something like 7-8 years in a row in the UK. Big discoveries have been made. Exploration drilling is up. So you get the feeling that this is not an active industry. It's actually the opposite way around. It's a very, very active place. Private equity have seen this in a big way. Private equity money has kind of poured into the North Sea. I think something like $15 billion spent over the last few years. Big acquisitions. So have had what's kind of called by some the big crew change. Mm-hmm. And that also creates big business development opportunity.
So you talked in your press release about dislocation in the North Sea, and I know that some of the majors are actually withdrawing, selling their assets. So could you know about these things? put the North Sea in context for us.
Yeah. I think what has happened is actually it's the U.S. majors that have kind of left to a large extent the North Sea because they are focusing on elsewhere. I mean, they're focusing on U.S. fracking business and elsewhere. The European majors are still in the North Sea. But then you have the entry of private equity capital, so you have some new companies that have been created, which have grown very large very quickly.
Instantly mid-sized companies.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly. Or even companies like Chrysor, like Vår Energy in Norway, Neptune, and so forth. And these companies have grown through acquisitions, and they know very much in the same situation as the majors used to be. They have to look at the portfolios, they have to allocate resources, allocate capital, and they need to streamline the portholes. So that's where a lot of opportunities come.
Is it a bit more lean and mean than it used to be in the 1970s, 1980s? Has technology advanced? How do you see smaller companies such as yourself actually operating and making money and being more profitable than majors were?
Well, I think that's that's the same as it was before. Small companies can make money because they focus. It's not by being smarter. It's all to do with materiality. It has to do with kind of if you have even a small oil field needs quite a lot of attention. It needs engineers and geologists working on it, and that's where the role is for small companies, exploiting these smaller resources or fields with less reserves left, and then the big boys then need to focus on the big fields. So there is a room in the industry.
They have a requirement for bigger profit.
Yeah, and they have to just focus on their biggest business because that needs to perform. So that means that there is an allocation issue for a big company, and that has kind of always been a big issue. That smaller projects and smaller fields need equal amount of attention.
Okay. You've raised £9 million already. A great start. Some people struggle to raise money, but you've got some city institutions who've backed you. Just briefly talk me through where your money has come from, and was it easy to raise, and why are you interested in private retail investors as well?
No, we're delighted with our IPO. So we started off with the IPO. It's what's called it's an investment company basically now, and then it will become an oil company when we do our first investment. We have been able to attract some really good blue chip investors, and if you look on the shareholder list, you'll recognize many of the names we had in Faroe. It's a really strong and good shareholder register we have. So that's brilliant.
They're back in the management team, are they?
Yes, and I think that it's a huge benefit for us because when we then go to do deals, I mean, you see the register there, you see the money is there for us for the good deals. And it can shorten then the cycle for actually delivering the deals.
Why private retail investors?
Yeah, because I mean that is important because you like to have a good shareholder structure. You like to have different types. You don't want to have only blue chip big retail investors. So you have to have the mix. Mm-hmm. We are investing ourselves. And we're all in it for the same purpose, is to create value and to create shareholder returns.
Excellent. Okay. When can we expect the first deal, and what will that first deal look like? You're looking for a production?
Yeah.
With some exploration bits and pieces on the side, perhaps?
Yeah, I think yes. Ideal deal would have everything in it, but you have to probably you might need to do one or two deals to get to kind of the ultimate goal. Mm-hmm. But we have been meeting with other oil companies over the last few months. CEOs, BD directors, and I mean, almost all of these meetings throw up opportunities. So we have a list, a target list of deals that we're working on, and it's looking promising. I would say we have a couple of deals that are far further advanced, and we're hopeful to deliver something first half of this year.
What might those deals look like, and when might we expect something to be announced?
Yeah.
What's the time frame?
You know, the problem is you don't know before you you have a name on a piece of paper, a signature. So it's really hard to predict.
I do have to ask you the question.
Yeah.
Difficult one to ask.
I'll be disappointed if we don't deliver anything in the first half of the year. But you know, I can't promise anything. But I mean, it's looking promising, I would say, from the processes we have ongoing.
And are you confident you can raise the funds for that first deal, that second deal?
Yeah, I think. I mean, we brought the shareholders in and they funded step one. I mean, I would expect them to fund step two. Obviously, the deal has to be a good deal, but we all want the deal to be a good deal. We need to have a good start for the company.
You'd expect those institutions to follow the money.
Yeah.
Indeed. You described your ambition is to become a meaningful North Sea E&P player. What kind of time frame might that take?
Again, it's a very hard one to predict, but in 2-3 years, I would say we hope to be a mid-size E&P, mid-cap size. Get production up and reserves up to a level where you could call yourself a mid-cap player. I don't think it takes more than 2-3 deals to do that.
Indeed. And where might you be in 2 years' time, do you think? What do you think?
I think we would be at that level then. We would be a recognized kind of mid-size E&P player. And
is the plan to remain on AIM, or would the ambition be to go to main market?
Yeah, I mean, for the time being, it's an AIM. I mean, with Faroe, we had an ambition to go to the main list. I mean, it's early days for Longboat. I think eventually you might take that step, but AIM is good for transactions for a small company.
Okay, and finally, news flow. What kind of news flow might you expect in the next few months, perhaps?
All about the deals, really. You know, we would, as soon as we land a deal, we would kind of get the funding for it, and that will all be announced in due course.
And what form will that funding take? Will you be?
That would be
that
would be
debt?
Yeah, that would be equity and debt. So we would bring in equity. And we're looking for, you know, the more there is production in the deal, the more there will be debt capacity. So we would like to have so we're working with the banks, and we have a really strong group of advisors and supporting us at the moment.
You can borrow against that production, existing production.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Helge, thank you very much indeed. It's been absolutely fascinating having a chat with you today.
Thanks a lot.
It's a real pleasure having you in the studio. Thank you. If you'd like to see other interviews like that, please do subscribe to the London South East YouTube channel. Thank you very much indeed for watching.